Hello everyone, we'll be starting in about 2 minutes. I'd like to ask you all to silence your phones now instead of later, please.
Thank you.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
My name is Michael Shelley, and I'm Jack Shelley's brother. And on behalf of the Shelley family, I'd like to welcome everybody here today to this Eagle Scout Court of Honor. Today is a celebration of Jack's hard work on his journey to become an Eagle Scout. It's my honor to serve as your Master of Ceremonies for today. We realize that many of you may not be familiar with this type of ceremony, probably don't know much about the path that a Scout becomes to take an Eagle Scout. So we hope you find this educational, maybe a little bit fun. I'll introduce each of our speakers, and we invite each presenter to give thoughts, if they wish, on their experiences with Jack on his path to Eagle, as they adhere in front of us. So with that, let's get started. I now invite Mr. John Lai from Next Level Church to give our invocation and then comments.
Thank you all very much. If I could just ask you to bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we just stand before you today with a spirit of gratitude. We thank you for your steadfast love for us. We thank you for allowing us to be here today to celebrate Jack. We thank you for every man and woman that you've given the opportunity to speak into Jack's life. We thank you for his family, and we thank you, Lord, for who you've created and called him to be, for his fortitude to finish the things that you've entrusted him to start. We pray that you continue to stir us up for you, Lord, that you would bless and protect him as he steps into becoming the man and the scout that you've called him to be. Thank you for what you've done in his life, for what you're doing today, Lord, and for what you will do in the days and years to come in and through him. Lord, we love you and believe that the best is yet to come. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Lai, and I've had the honor and just awesome privilege of being Jack's small group mentor every Wednesday night since 7th grade. So if you pray for me. I've seen some stuff. But Jack, first of all, man, I just want to tell you congratulations. Seriously. Since the day I met you, you've held this day in such high regard. Today has been a personal measuring stick for your success, and man, I could not be more proud of you. You've worked incredibly hard, and you've persevered through ups and downs to get here today. Like I said, today is truly 100, absolutely your day, 100% your day, man. I could not be more proud of you. Speaking on behalf of our group of guys, Jack, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to walk with you on this journey. Thank you for giving God the glory on the mountaintop, and more importantly, for leading into him in the valleys. And there's no denying it. There have been some valleys. You've been transparent in all of your feelings in those. You've allowed us to pray with you, and you've made it known that the challenges that you faced to get where you are today weren't stop signs, they were simply speed bumps. It has been a great ongoing reminder for all of us that valleys exist when we're fighting for just about anything worth having. And so thank you most of all for honoring steadfastness. For our group of guys and for everyone around you, there's nothing more important than that, Jack. You see, being steadfast today is something that is very underrated. We live in a society of instant gratification. When you Google the definition of steadfastness, it is the quality of being resolutely and beautifully firm and unwavering to model that life force. Being steadfast is also a biblical principle. The word appears 219 times in the Bible. Almost every time it's used, Jack, is followed by the word love. The stories in the Bible consistently remind us that we should never be surprised when we have struggles. We just have to be prepared to face them. And then it reminds us that we have all that we need to face those battles because God's love and faithfulness is steadfast. Jack, you've been a perfect example of steadfastness and fortitude for us. So thank you for honoring God and reminding us that in the struggle, it is the struggle that actually makes us stronger and the reward sweeter. Man, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Locke. At this time, I now invite Owen Legend, Senior Patrol Leader of Troop 193, to begin the presentation of colors.
Ask everyone to rise and please take off on the color guard attention. Troop attention. Color guard forward march. Color guard halt. Color guard, please present the colors. Please post the colors. Scout salute. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All parents and family members may be seated. Scouts are join in the scout. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the scout law, to help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, and to await moral straight. Color guard uniform. Color guard forward march. Color guard dismiss. Scouts may be seated.
Thank you, Owen. And now I'd like to welcome the Honorable Judge Josephine Gagliardi, Lee County 20th Circuit Judge and Vice President, Southwest Florida Council of Boy Scouts of America, to open this court of honor and give any comments on the chat.
Good afternoon, friends, family, scouts. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be here. And thank you, Jack, for inviting me. I would like to say that I'm privileged and honored. He's a great kid, and I'm so proud to be here. So, without further ado, on behalf of the Southwest Florida Council of the Boy Scouts of America, I now convene this Scout Court of Honor open. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Gagliardi. You just heard all the scouts in this room recite the scout oath. I promise Jack has recited many times for his almost 9 years in Scout. The Scout Oath is a universal set of commitments that every Scout knows and adheres to. We now invite Abner Wilhelm, Eagle Scout with Troop 193, to help us all better understand the meaning behind the words.
On my honor.
Meaning your solemn promise, a promise that relies on your good reputation as to whether or not it will be carried out.
I will do my best.
Your best. It's giving all you've got when you've got something to do, and working on it with all your heart, soul, and mind, all the strength and devotion you have.
To do my duty.
To do the job, to meet the responsibilities, to do what has to be done, not just some of the job, but all of the job, completely and fully so that you're proud of your work.
To God and my country.
Duty first to God. Fulfill your religious obligations. Uphold your beliefs. Second to your country. We live in a free country. Be aware of those freedoms and don't take them for granted. Your responsibility to your country becomes your duty.
To obey the Scout law.
Meaning to obey it, to follow it completely. And not just the first 6 points or the last 3 or every other one when you feel like it, but all 12 points all the time.
To help other people at all times.
Help could mean saving a life or changing a tire, carrying groceries for your mom. To help other people besides your family, and not just when asked. Not just when convenient to you or when someone else is watching, but when it's needed.
To keep myself physically strong.
Just what it says. Physically strong, physically fit, ready to defend yourself, your scouting principles, and your country.
Mentally awake.
Keep alert, observing, always seeking to learn.
And morally sure.
In thought, word, and actions, know what is right and what is wrong, and stand by the right.
Thank you, Abner. In Scouting, as in most activities, there are rules. The rules of Scouting are found in the 12 points of the Scout Law, which you also listed. We now invite Mr. Jeff Hudson, Committee Chair of Troop 193, to take us through the 12 points in close of your time. A Scout is trustworthy.
A scout tells the truth. He keeps his promises. Honesty is part of his code of conduct.
A Scout is loyal.
A scout is true to his family, friends, scout leaders, school, nation, and community.
A Scout is helpful.
A scout is concerned about other people. He willingly volunteers to help others without expecting payment or reward.
A Scout is friendly.
A scout is a friend to all. He is a brother to other scouts. He seeks to understand others. He respects those with ideas and customs that are different from his own.
A Scout is courteous.
A scout is polite to everyone regardless of age or position. He knows that good manners make it easier for people to get along together.
A Scout is kind.
A scout understands that there is strength in being gentle. He treats others as he wants to be treated. He does not harm or kill anything without reason.
A Scout is obedient.
A scout follows the rules of his family, school, and troop. He obeys the laws of the community and the country. If he thinks these rules and laws are unfair, he tries to have them changed in an orderly manner rather than disobey them.
Scout is cheerful.
A scout looks to the bright side of life. He cheerfully does tasks that come his way. He tries to make others happy.
Scout is thrifty.
A scout works to pay his way and to help others. He saves for the future. He protects and conserves natural resources. He carefully uses time and property.
A Scout is brave.
A scout can face danger even if he is afraid. He has the courage to stand for what he thinks is right, even if others laugh at him or threaten him.
A Scout is clean.
A scout keeps his body and mind fit and clean. He goes around with those who believe in living by these same ideals. He helps keep his home and his community clean.
A Scout is reverent.
A scout is reverent towards God. He is faithful in his religious duties. He respects the beliefs of others. Now, this is my turn to say a few words about Jack. But first, I'd really like to talk about those 12 rules we just read out loud there. You slow down and think about each one of them individually. If everyone could live by these 12 rules, I think we wouldn't be in half the mess we're in or are heading towards right now. It truly is a means for adults to help youth move into the future and take care of this country and take care of themselves. I think it's why all of us adult leaders do what we do here. Now, when Jack came over to our troop, he was, I must say, he was an instant leader. And for that, I think we need to give kudos to Troop 119 and his family. He came over ready to go. I mean, he had the physical size and the loud mouth, so he actually had some natural attributes too that helped him being a leader amongst other boys. But he had it up here and he had it in here as well, and it really made a difference. And you could tell about his enthusiasm when he had to get up one morning at Camp Parade at 6:30 and jump in a freezing cold pool and wrestle watermelons away from every other scout in the district. He started throwing the scouts at one point when the watermelon got too easy. But he has added life to our troop, and we couldn't have been more proud to have Jack become an Eagle with 193. And Jack, you're going to go far, buddy. I know.
Thank you, Mr. Muggy. Today we are all here to honor Eagle Scout Jack Shelley on the occasion of earning the highest rank in Scout, the Eagle rank. This is not, however, the first time that he has been recognized before a court of honor like this. 6 times along his journey to Eagle Scout, Jack has stood here. First when he received his Scout badge, then when he earned each rank leading up to today as an Eagle. And with each, he seemed a little taller, a little stronger, and more confident, and more dedicated to the ideals of Scouting. At this time, I invite Troop 193 Scouts, Bryson Robbins, Jacob Silver, Sam, and Keith Attar to take us through the stages of Scouting.
The following is a representation of a Scout Trail at Eagle. Scout rank. The first rank in Scouting is Scout. To earn this award, a new Scout must agree to live by the Scout Oath and law and complete a number of assignments. Tenderfoot. Next is Tenderfoot. The requirements offer a taste of the great adventures awaiting you in Scouting and can give you the basic skills you'll need to begin taking part in those adventures. You meet many challenges in earning your Tenderfoot ranks. Second class. Then in second class, to earn this, the Scout must learn how to use a map and compass, how and when to build a campfire, and to safely use pocket knives and wood tools. Second class Scouts have proven their abilities in camping, first aid, swimming, and other Scout skills. The founder of Scouting, Lord Baden Powell, said that all Scouts should earn first class. Now you have tested yourself even more. You have tried greater adventures and practiced your Scout skills many times. With the confidence and knowledge that you now have, people will expect more of you, and you will expect more of yourself. You are prepared to be more of a leader in your patrol, your troop, and your community. As you earn your star rank, you have more freedom to choose the directions that interest you. The focus shifts from basic Scout skills to earning the first 6 merit badges that you will need for Eagle Scout. Requirements now include service to others. The star rank also requires a Scout to be active in his troop for at least 4 months. In addition, the Star Scout must serve his troop in a position of leadership for at least 4 months and take part in at least 1 service project. Life Scout. The Life rank is one of the rarest ranks. This is the last rank before Eagle. You can complete your Eagle rank now in as few as 6 months. You have earned more than half of the merit badges required for Eagle. The Life rank also requires a Scout to be active in his troop for at least 6 months, serve his troop in a position of leadership for at least 6 months, and take part in at least 1 service project.
Thank you, Scouts. And now finally we are at Eagle. To walk us through this final stage, we invite Mr. David Maxwell, former Scoutmaster, Troop 193 to the front. David was Jack's first Scoutmaster when he joined Troop 193.
rank is the highest award. Jack, at this point, we trust you to achieve our purpose in the building of character, training, leadership, and practicing serving. The requirements for the Eagle Scout rank are as follows: to be active in your troop and patrol for at least 6 months as a Life Scout. Demonstrate Scout spirit by living a Scout oath and law in your everyday life. Earn a minimum 21 merit badges, including the 13 that are required for every Eagle. Serve actively in an approved position of responsibility for a period of 6 months after becoming a Life Scout. Plan, develop, and lead others in carrying out a service project worthy of an Eagle Scout. Take part in the Scoutmaster Conference. Appear before a board of review of prominent persons, all having also attained the Eagle Scout rank, and satisfy them that you have done your best to understand and live up to the Scout oath and law, and in all ways qualify for the Eagle Scout award. Will all current Eagle Scouts please stand and be recognized? I'd like to tell you some facts about scouting that you may not know. After hearing this, we hope you'll be able to appreciate more about scouting at the Eagle rank we are soon to award Jack. Of any 100 boys who become scouts, it must be confessed that 30 will drop out in the first year. Perhaps this may be regarded as a failure, but later in life, all of these boys will remember that they had been scouts at one time and will speak well of the program. Of the 100, only rare people will ever appear before a juvenile court judge. 12 of the 100 will be from families that belong to no church. Through scouting, these 12 and many of their families will be brought into contact with the church and will continue to be active all of their lives. 6 of these 100 will become pastors. Each of the 100 will learn something from scouting. Almost all will develop hobbies that will add interest throughout the rest of their lives. Approximately 1/2 will serve in the military and in varying degrees profit from their scout training. At least one will use it to save another person's life, and many will credit it with saving their own. 4 to 5 of these 100 scouts will reach Eagle rank, and at least one will later say that he valued his Eagle above his college degree. Many will find their future vocation through merit badge work and scouting contacts. 17 of the 100 boys will later become scout leaders and will give leadership to thousands of additional boys. Only about 1 in 4 boys in America will become a scout. But it is interesting to note that of the leaders in this nation, in business, religion, and politics, 3 out of 4 were scouts. Jack, today we honor you as one scout in 100. We have seen the things that you have done to this date, and we can only imagine what you will do in the future. Welcome to this prestigious brotherhood. I'd like to say first, I'm really honored to be part of your Court of Honor. As your Scoutmaster for the last couple of years, I was really excited to welcome you and your family to ours. It was clear from the beginning that you, your brother Michael, your parents Dennis and Tina, were going to be deeply involved in the continued success of this troop, and none of you disappointed. And now I'm proud to recognize you as an Eagle Scout. You have been an asset and inspiration to the troop, exemplifying what we have come to expect from all of our scouts. Though there was never any question in what the outcome was going to be, it was a privilege and a pleasure to be part of your journey. Congratulations on this prestigious rank.
Thank you, Mr. Maxwell. Earlier on, we heard and learned about the Scout Oath. The Eagle Scout now takes on a new oath, the Eagle Oath. We now invite Mr. Zeke Robbins, current Scoutmaster of Troop 193, to deliver it. So let's chat.
Jack, thanks for letting me be part of it. Many times over the past almost nine years of scouting, you have joined with your fellow scouts in repeating the Scout Oath. Today, you will stand alone and repeat a new Scout Oath for the first time, the Eagle Scout Promise. Though the words you will say are similar to those you have said many times before, today they will surely mean more to you than ever before. When you pledge yourself on your sacred honor, you will be sealing your oath with the words which close the Declaration of Independence. So would you please join me, sir? Please repeat after me. I, Jack Shelley, reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath.
I, Jack Shelley, reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath.
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout.
I thoughtfully recognize
And take upon myself
and take upon myself
the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout.
the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout.
On my honor, I will do my best
On my honor, I will do my best
to make my training an example,
to make my training an example,
and my status and influence count strongly
and my status and influence count strongly,
for better scouting and better citizenship
for better scouting and better citizenship
in my troop and in my community,
in my community
and in my contacts with other people.
and in my contacts with other people.
To this I pledge my sacred honor.
To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
And I would say, so I'm on the younger side of the scouting spectrum here, because we're working our way through. So I'm getting to see, a lot from the older scouts that I've sat kind of silently behind, and now I got the honor to be part of a new scouting generation that's coming up. And so, we're going to be losing a lot of our heavy hitter when Jack's disappearing now. From our campery, from our competition, wood splitting, and we'll be a little colder with fires, of wood, different things like that occur. But the Shelley family has been such an asset to 193 since they came over, and luckily for us, we still have a Shelley in the ranks to keep the family going with us. So I'm grateful for you, sir, and for your family, and for the opportunity to be part of something that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. So congratulations.
With the current Eagle Scouts. Thank you, Mr. Robbins. As you can see, the Eagle Scout Code of Honor is a traditional and reflective, as well as celebratory. For those outside of Scouting, we feel it is important for you not only to understand the significance of this achievement, but to truly know the young man who is here to be recognized. With that, it is now time for the highlight of our program, the presentation of the Eagle Award to my brother, Jack Francis Shelley. We would now like to invite Brock Abijadi Jr., Eagle Scout of Troop 119, to the front.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm the aforementioned Brock, and I'm going to be administering the Eagle Charge as well as presenting the Eagle Badge and Certificate and Pins. Jack, if you don't mind coming to the front here. When I begin Eagle Charge, I ask that you listen carefully to these words and weigh their meaning in your heart. I have the honor to give you, Jack Shelley, the Eagle Scout Charge on the occasion of your elevation to the highest award in Scouting. The Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most wholesome and significant movements in the world's history. You have been judged by the Boy Scouts of America as being worthy of this honor. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. Your position, as you well know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are a marked man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation in your duty to your God, your country, and your fellow Scouts. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to the obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to our fellow Scout community. America has many good things to give you and your children after you, but these good things depend for the most part on the quality of her citizens. Our country has had a great past. You could now help make the future even greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service to God and to your fellow men. So live and serve that those who know you will be inspired to find their living. We have too many who use their strength and their brains to exploit others and to gain selfish ends. I charge you, Jack Shelley, to be among those who dedicate their skills and their ability to the common good. Build America on the solid foundation of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence to God. And whatever others may do, you will leave behind a record of which every Scout may be proud. Jack, please escort your parents forward. It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Dennis Shelley, Assistant Scoutmaster, Troop 193, and Mrs. Tina Shelley. Jack, it is with great pride and pleasure that I, along with this Court of Honor, now present to you with the Eagle Badge. This is the symbol of your success. Jack, your mother, who has provided you with love, encouragement, and support, will have the honor of pinning your eagle over your heart. Jack, no one will ever know the unnumbered acts of self-sacrifice and helpfulness you receive from your mother. As a symbol of what your mother has made possible, the court now asks you to pin this eagle mother's pin on her. Jack, your father has stood by you over the years and offered you his encouragement and assistance as well. He will now present the Eagle Certificate to you. Jack, in return, please present your father with this Eagle lacquer pen. So, Jack, next I have the pleasure of giving you the Eagle message. And of course, the Eagle patch. And now I present to you Eagle Scout of Troop 193, our newest member,
So there's a couple great stories that I can give about us back in the day, but I think that would also implicate my own guilt in some of them too. So just come talk to me after the ceremony and I'll give you a few. I just want to say one thing, something which I remember Jack Shelley embodying. The Eagle Scout law is definitely the basis and definitely the law of what we as Boy Scouts and Eagle Scouts recite every single time we'd ever go to a meeting, and we hold them throughout our entire lives, even until death. Now there is an unnamed Scout law that enables us to practice all of the other ones and take them to fruition. And that's something which I believe Jack embodies greatly, and that is inquisitiveness, questioning, seeking the truth. You see, how can we be trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent if we don't know how to do it, if we don't ask questions, if we don't learn from those who came before us and how to best embody those values? You see, scouting enables us to be good citizens. In fact, the very core of scouting is to make us good citizens, not just citizens. Every single one of us can go vote, participate in a town hall, exercise our rights. That's what citizens do. Not all Americans do that, some do, most of them do, and I'm thankful for that. But scouting wants us to be good citizens. And the only way that we can truly be good citizens is if we question, is if we seek the truth. And that is something I remember Jack, even from very young. This was always something we were always asking questions, and not just to learn how to do it, but how to do it well. How to become a good citizen is following this path. Jack, I personally would like to charge you with this last charge, and that's to always be inquisitive. Because being a citizen, a good citizen, isn't about just graduating from the Eagle program. It's our life now. It's something that's inside of our hearts until we die. And so practicing the Scout law and practicing all of these virtues requires us to consistently be inquisitive and question, always trying to pursue the truth based on what we know and based on who we can ask. So I charge you to always be inquisitive. I'm incredibly proud of you, buddy. Congratulations.
Well, if you know my brother, you can obviously tell he's a patriot and someone who loves this country dearly. Jack's godparents, Aunt Dawn and Uncle Tim Shelley are invited up to make a special presentation to Jack.
Jack, we'd like to present this flag to you. It was sworn in the Capitol on May 23rd of this year, and it was at the request of Honorable Francis Ruey, Member of Congress, commemorating the occasion of your achievements rank as Eagle Scout. I'm so proud of you, Mr. Gardner. If you follow these tenets throughout your life, you will be great.
Thank you, Aunt Dawn and Uncle Tim. All right, well, now it's my time. You know, he's my brother. So I can tell a lot of things about him that I probably shouldn't, but there's some days you see him go through Scouts. And I was there when he went 119, and I thought he didn't like it at first, but you know, because that's what every child thinks. They don't know what they're doing at the first point, but I saw him through Cub Scouts, I saw him through Boy Scouts, and now I see him now. It's a great journey. It really made you better. So, I don't think I'm going to tell a story because they're a little out there. But it was great to see you go through Scouts, and I'm happy that I met you. I also have a letter from Mr. Sam Marshall, who could not be here today to celebrate with you. He's away on vacation but wanted to commemorate your special day with a few words about the years spent together when he was an adult leader at Troop 119. An open letter to Jack Shelley at his Eagle ceremony, July 27, 2019. Greetings to everyone who has joined together today to celebrate Jack Shelley achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. Jack, I'm sorry I could not be there in person, but I feel privileged to have been a part of your scouting journey. It is a journey that started with you learning skills and culminated with you teaching those skills to others and demonstrating leadership. Along the way, you applied the Scout law and scouting to everything you do. The journey is far from over. Jack, these are skills and lessons that prepare you for life. Keep them handy and apply them often. One point of the Scout law: a Scout is loyal. It has been obvious from the start with your strong family bond that loyalty is one of your best traits. We have seen your loyalty to your mother, father, and brother, to your fellow Scouts, demonstrating at meetings, campouts, and during service and Eagle projects, and loyalty demonstrated as service to your community and country with ROTC. At every level, you demonstrated true loyalty, always seeking support, contribute and improve yourself and those around you. An Eagle Scout celebration could not be complete without reflection on a key memory of your scouting experience. One very memorable experience that comes to mind was your first trip to summer camp, your first year in Boy Scouts. Stop me if you heard this story before. Just kidding, no. During the days of summer camp, you get into routine and stay busy. Wake up, class A uniform on, muster for the morning flag ceremony, prayer, and the day's announcements. Rush through breakfast, class B uniform on, scatter across hundreds of acres to go through classes, lunch and more classes, and find short breaks. Later, back in class A, off to dinner, then return to the campsite, clean up, and quiet time. When things got quiet in the evening, you realized that you missed your family a lot. They were close, and there wasn't going to be a phone call. We weren't going to drive you home, not today, not tomorrow, not the day after. Pretty overwhelming for a young scout. We talked every evening about your family. They were not there, but they were thinking about you right there. Looking up at the same sky you saw, they were going to be excited when you returned to hear about all that you accomplished. We knew that you would make it. What we didn't know was that your family missed you even more. To this day, I am sure your parents and brothers got in the car every single evening and considered driving out to campus. So Jack, today we celebrate you earning the rank of Eagle Scout and beginning a new adventure. Very best regards, Sam Marshall. It is now time to hear from our guest of honor. The Eagle Scout Reflection is a message from the Eagle Scouts and those who are here today as guides of his journey and celebrates in his success. It is also when Jack will have the opportunity to formally thank key mentors in his scouting journey. A mentor pin is an expression of thanks and honors the individual for their contribution to Eagle Scout success. When worn on the official Scout uniform, a mentor pin identifies a Scout leader who has made a significant contribution to Eagle Scout. Jack, the floor is now yours.
You know, it's fine. You started giving me marks. Okay.
So this is long. I chose a lot of, I couldn't narrow it down. There was no possible way I could narrow it down to just one. So I chose more than one. Okay. Hi everyone, we're going to know who I am, so I'll say the intro. First of all, I just want to thank everyone here today to celebrate this amazing day with me. Before today, I was told that this event would be a humbling and memorable experience, and it has exceeded that, for sure. You all mean so much to me, and I can't thank each and every one of you enough for your contribution, whether it be monetarily, whether it be physical, or emotional. This is just me reflecting over my years of being a scout and what it really means to me to have achieved the highest rank of Eagle Scout. Over the past 9 years, I've become a Cub Scout, camped a bunch, swam a bunch, canoed, kayaked a bunch. But the one thing I learned in Scout more than anything was leadership. There are a lot of people here today who have shown me leadership, and which in turn teaches me to be a better leader. I've learned that leadership can be shown in many ways. It can be shown like a Scout leader like Fuzzy, challenging me to lead a rebuild crossover, or Mr. Lye and Mr. Scoggins, pulling me aside to gather my thoughts when I'm having a bad day. Or seeing Mr. Wade jump in and take charge of a project work day, or Ms. Holly making an introduction to Crowder. Or Mr. Silva. handing out drinks and supervising on a lumber construction day. Being shown leadership is helping me be a better leader, and I'm so thankful to many of you today. At this time, I get to recognize those people who have had the biggest impact in my Eagle Scout career. It is impossible to zero down to 1 or 2 people, and I think you'll understand why in a second. So the first person I want to recognize is Mr. Sam Marshall. Unfortunately, he cannot be here today, but he's the reason I continued in scouting away from my very first summer camp. And in 2013, we had a rule in the troop: no calls home, period. And if it got really that bad, and a scout missed home enough to make a call, it was a game changer. You really had to think whether you were ready to cross that line of commitment. Well, I got really scared on the first night, and I decided I was willing to take the chance on the first night. Well, I got really scared, and I decided I was going to take that chance, and I ran over to Mr. Marshall and I woke him up at 3 in the morning and told him I needed to call home. Without skipping a beat, he talked me through my fears and helped me focus on things I was learning, and all that I would miss if I wasn't here, and didn't focus on it. So he is really the reason I stayed at camp, facing my fears, and it made me realize that just because I'm afraid to do something doesn't mean I shouldn't do it. Mr. Marshall, I know you're not here, but your impact on my scouting career is one of the reasons that I am standing here today, and I thank you very much. From there, I continued to advance through my ranks, and in 2017, as a Life Scout, it came time to start my project. I had a little idea that I wanted to increase the meeting space in my ROTC building at school. I had a picture in mind and took out a pencil and, well, if you all know my artistic ability, it was not that great. I knew I had to find someone who designed buildings and knew what they were doing, so that led me to Mr. Jeff Miller. Jeff, if you could come forward.
Keep the church from burning down.
Thank you. Mr. Murray, to me and my project, you helped me turn this little idea into my head into a real thing, and I could not be more thankful. So one Monday, I asked Mr. what the next steps were. I asked him what was after this, and because he drew the architect plans and he mapped it out and he did all the materials count. He said, "Well, I just designed the thing. Looks to me you need a contractor." I hadn't considered that whatsoever. And after talking with my parents, I made a call to a family friend, Mr. Steve Lewis. Unfortunately, Steve is not here, so if Miss Liz, if you could come forward, that would be fantastic. Speak to you like that. Speak to Steve. Here. If you could, give that to Steve. Steve, I'll never forget staying in your kitchen and showing Mr. Mudgett's plans and the pictures of the JROTC building and him saying, and you'll never realize what he's about to say, "This is going to be a great little project." And anyone who knows my project knows that it's not. Little isn't what I was thinking, but it's really comforting knowing that you thought that. As we were going through all the steps in planning and eventually making those hard hours of labor, I learned just how much goes into building and creating even something like this little project. You never lost your cool and showed me all the things, and I'm just a kid from New Jersey that never swung a hammer, or never used an axe, or never used a drill, but being there with you, watching you work and seeing the finished product go up really changed my perspective, and watching and how things go up from paper to paper. No doubt that project wouldn't be done without your contribution. So, thank you. Now that the project is done, I get to hand it over to my next mentor, Colonel Rodney Scott Robinson. Colonel, if you could come up here, that'd be great. I don't know where you're sitting.
it's getting me out of the principal's office or putting up that last bit of headwall flashing for the honor. Colonel, you've impacted me so much as a leader over the past 3 years, and I cannot thank you enough. I can't think of a better leader to follow in my military career. Thank you enough for your time. Thank you for contributing all of that time to me and the people around me that you lead every single day. You made a huge impact in my life. And next week at Company Leadership Camp, I would like to put this up to you to kick off the 2019 campaign. And I'd also like to present you with some.
If I haven't been emotional and you haven't been emotional yet, this is it. Finally, there's one man who's been here through it all. My dad. Dad, can you please come forward?
Dad, I love you so much, and you and Mom have done so much for me that I can't express. You've been there for me when I need to cry, when I need to laugh, or when I need to just sit there in silence and stare at you and expect something to change. You and Mom will never understand how much it means to me just to walk into a room and feel love. And that's what I feel like every time I walk in the house. Dad, especially, you've been there for me through every scouting event, even though Mike may not want you there all the time. You've taught me the greatest lessons in life, and I promise that one day when I'm where you are, I'll do the same. You didn't want to get emotional? Probably good that I typed it all out and wouldn't make it through all that. Thank you to everyone who came out and to be a part of the ceremony. And now I get to hand the microphone back to you, who's been doing an awesome job. Just a little thing. If you ask Mr. Keene, you might be able to use it for communications. Thanks, kid.
Anybody, and I mean anybody, that wants to give any tribute about Jack and his scouting years, please come forward.
Not all of them.
Yeah, not all.
Yeah, where's the
Good afternoon. My name is John Spence. I didn't just randomly come up here. I actually was asked to come up here by Dennis. So thank you. And unlike my dear friend, Mr. Mudgett, Jeff, they gave me 45 minutes to talk. So, and by the way, the last thing I wanted to point out was, no, Jeff did not notice that it was about to catch on fire. I had to come up and tell him, and he said he would be ready to put it out. Well, you know, the nice thing is the architect did specify tile, which means I can scrape the wax off the floor and we'll be okay. I do walk around when I talk on this. I've been asked to talk about a rite of passage that we went through a couple of years ago, and it truly was a rite of passage. Five scouts, Kaz, Fisher, Kyle, who is sitting on the back row there, Mr. Walker, Jack, of course, and Logan Spence. And I would like to tell you that of those 5 boys that did this trip, which I'm going to tell you about, Kaz, Eagle Scout, Fisher, Eagle Scout, Kyle, Eagle Scout, Jack, Eagle Scout, and Logan on his way to becoming an Eagle Scout. So that tells you about this group of guys. Thank you. Before we start, this is the story of the 50-miler a foot afloat that we did a couple of years ago. And prior to this, a little history, we always heard, and Fuzzy will remember, who's in the back, we always heard about this tremendous hike that had happened in the past, a 13-mile hike, and Sam Marshall was there, and Ron Ritchie, and it was the 13-mile hike, and we all thought that was incredible. So, for those of you who are hikers, and I am a hiker, I've hiked about half the Appalachian Trail. Jack's a hiker, these boys are all hikers. You don't just jump on the trail and start hiking. If you recall, we started months ahead of time preparing. We hiked the linear trail, I think 4 or 5 times, and a couple of times the boys loaded their backpacks with books, 50, 60-pound books. So this was going to be the high adventure portion of our summer camp, and at that time I was with the older boys, and I was kind of the high adventure liaison. So they asked me to go, I got ready, I prepared, and I went. What was interesting before, Dennis and Jack have a wonderful relationship. I've always admired them. Never afraid that the son's going to get really hurt or be in a situation, but truly loves him. And he came to me and he said, I was the one going and he was going to stay at camp with the youngers. He said, take care of my son. And really what happened was Jack took care of me. So that was wonderful to know. So I remember the day we started this trip, got up real early in the morning, finished packing our packs, left some things behind. We were supposed to do 2 10-mile-a-day hikes, 2 10-milers. And that's reasonable to do. It was mountainous terrain, so that was easy to do. So we were loaded up. We had a camp leader from the scout camp that we didn't know who prepared us, and we were going to go with him. So we met him that night before, and we prepared, we set our meals, and we got going. Within about 3 or 4 hours of the trip, which should have only been about half the trip, we found that they had several storms. You recall, every time there was a point to stop and get off the trail, there was a reroute. So we rerouted, and we rerouted, and we rerouted. And there was no way of telling where we were. It wasn't like the Appalachian Trail that's marked every 50 yards or so. And we knew we were on the trail. We knew we had light. We were watching, our watches. But we had to keep going because we did not know where we were on the trail or how far we needed to go. So the first sign of Jack's leadership came about 3/4 of the way through. We had already hiked maybe 16, 17 miles. We didn't know we'd hiked that far, but we knew that from the time that we had hiked, that we should have been that far. So we took a break and we looked at the map. Well, what you learn about leadership is you use the skills you've been trained with, and you try to come up with a plan. And Jack said, I believe that we can cut a couple of miles out of this trip by taking a side road because it looks parallel and I think it'll end up at the same place. He believed it. He believed it so much so that we all believed he believed it. And we decided scout led, right? Scout led, boy led. So we followed, and I prepped this with Jack, and he said it was okay to share this. But we hiked about a mile and a quarter to a dead end. Literally nowhere to go. So we had to turn around and come back. We got on the trail. And we started this hike at about 7 a.m. At about 9:30 at night, okay? That's a 14-hour hike. We knew that we had gone far. We found a location that we could stop. We made a decision to stop. We'd run out of water. We found a creek. And everybody got out their straws and their filters, and we loaded up with water, and we took it for the night. We woke up the next morning, and I remember somebody popping up real early when light came out, looked around and said, "Oh my gosh, we just stopped at a campsite. We were 25 feet off of the trail of our second night's destination. We were literally that far away." And this sounds bad, and it was a high adventure, but we survived. We made it. We got there. We walked across the 25 feet into our campsite. We did it in one day. We did 21 miles in one day. For those of you who are hikers, you know that's a tough hike. That wasn't a flat Florida hike either. That was a hard hike. The boys were worn out. They were tired. They were upset. They were frustrated. They were hungry. They were everything. And they had concocted a plan to hoodwink Fuzzy into letting him have a free day. Hey, we beat it by a day. Let's take a break. So Fuzzy was called, and he came out. And he looked around and wisely looked at each boy. And I mean, we weren't missing limbs, and we weren't bleeding profusely. And he asked around, and he said, "Well, guys, you signed up for this. You actually just got a free day, so y'all need to stay here." So they were ticked. Fuzzy went back in the van, and we stayed. Well, what we didn't realize was probably for those 5 boys, it was part of the bonding experience of their life. It poured down rain all day long. And we set up this hobo village of tarps around, and luckily I had cards, and they learned to play every card game there was that we played all day. And what we did, we had some talks, and Jack may remember this, and Logan and Kyle. Well, when they started off, the villain was Fuzzy, and they were all mad. By the end of the day, literally, what they understood is sometimes you have to stick it out. Sometimes things come up in life, and sometimes you have to power through it and push through it. And it made us better men. So, that was in the first day. Second day, the rain. The third day was canoeing. And I'm only going to point out a couple of things, but there were a couple of things along the way that happened that are memorable. Scouting is memorable. And what you do in scouting, you carry with you. Well, we went through some pretty rough waters. I would say it was close to white waters, and we did dump our canoes fully loaded with gear 2 or 3 times. And I will say that yes, twice my canoe dumped. I'm sorry to say that. But one of the memorable things was about halfway through the first day, we were in a steep banked river, and a big tree had fallen down. We couldn't get around it. We couldn't portage it. We could go to the far end, and it was about 4 feet. How much time do I have? Because we're getting close. Okay, I'll wrap it up. But this is one of those things that these 5 boys will never forget. I don't remember who the first canoe was that got through, but we let us go one at a time, and the canoe got through. And in this tight situation, got to the other side, and the other canoes were there, and they looked back and they said, "The largest snake we've ever seen will be watching you and be about 2 feet away from you. So be careful and be quiet." We had nowhere to go. We couldn't get up the slope. We couldn't get around. You remember the snake? And it was a water snake. And it was 2-3 feet long, but it was fat. And as you came around, it was almost like a horrifying nightmare. He was right there watching. We quietly got around, and we did it. No one got attacked by the snake. Everything went well. We did 3 days of canoeing. We found along the way, 2 different times, we found a couple of good old boys fishing out of the back of a pickup truck on the side of the river, and I talked them out of, Fuzzy, I'm sorry, talked them out of some Coca-Colas and Gatorades, and we loaded up the boys, and we went on. Jack, what I saw in you, as well as the 5 boys, and 3 of them are here today, was just quality scouting, and getting to really use the younger boys who haven't done high adventure. Do it. This is the kind of stuff that happens. We had a boat run aground on rocks, and it tore a hole in it. How many times have they told you, bring duct tape? Oh, come on, duct tape? We duct taped a hole in a canoe that would have sunk, and we used it for 2 more days. So that worked. Anyway, I was blessed to be with the boys. I enjoyed it immensely. It is one of my memories, and Jack, you're one of my memories. And the last thing I will tell you is that the other thing that's very nice about it is Jack is actually my cashier at my Publix. And I get to see him. Jack, thank you very much.
I now invite up Mr. Robert Fuzzy Andrews, Scoutmaster 2119, and Jack and I's first Scoutmaster. Every meeting we have a tradition called Scoutmaster Minute, and I don't think a Court of Honor would be memorable without Fuzzy Scoutmaster Minute.
Yeah, can you hear me in the back? You know, scouting's a journey, and every boy in here that has made it to Eagle has been on that journey. They have come into a troop, they have been the new person. You know, they look around, they're a little scared, they're a little anxiety. But, you know, sometimes you get a young man like Jack who shows up and he's sure of himself. He's real sure. You know, it's going to be 2 years, he's an Eagle. There's nothing that's going to get in his way. Nothing. You know, because he's got a plan, and he's going to stick to it. Now, as we all know, plans tend to fail. You know, you hit a roadblock. You don't get something done when you want it done. You get upset because you feel that you've been, you know, not treated right when it comes time for advancement or selection or something. And you go through a learning process. And you learn to be humble. And it's real tough to be humble, especially in a scout troop, because there's always people coming in that are sure of themselves. And they'll find out. They'll learn their lessons. You know, one of my favorite is when Michael showed up in the troop. Michael goes out to sell popcorn. Michael just slays it. Gets the most popcorn sold for the council. Jack's sitting there when I'm with Mr. Marshall, and he says, you know, I just don't know how he does it. And I said, well, Jack, when you're small and you're cute, anybody will buy popcorn. You know? And I said, get used to it. You're not cute anymore. Jack, in trying to achieve his goals, he would sit there and he would, how much do I have to do, or how little do I have to do to get a merit badge? Well, he was doing cookie merit badge. And at the time, Tina and myself were the cookie merit badge counselors. Tina did all the paperwork and, you know, with the boys in the troop, and I did all the work on the camping trips. So there were certain requirements that you cook on a camping trip, prepare your food and everything. So we had a few boys doing the cookie merit badge, and I asked what they're cooking, and they tell me, and Jack tells me what he's doing. I said, great. So it comes dinner time, you see the boys sit there and they pull out, you know, the cutting boards, the tables and everything. See Jack goes over to his cooler. He opens up the cooler, he puts out this bag, he puts out this bag, he puts out that bag. I go, Jack, what are you doing? He says, I'm getting ready to cook dinner. I said, Jack, where did you prep all this food? I prepped it at home. And I said, Jack, didn't you read the requirements? You're supposed to do it, you know, in the field. He says, no. I said, I thought I just had to bring the food. And it was like, Jack, I'm not going to give you credit for it, but go ahead and cook your meal. You know, you got to come back and you got to do it right. Jack had his ups, Jack's had his downs. He had his, you know, decision-making that was questionable, and the decision-making that was, you know, fine when he helped other boys. Now, I love revisionist history, especially when he went on this hiking canoe trip. Some of the things you didn't hear about that trip was, one, if you're going hiking, make sure you're wearing the proper clothes. Make sure you got the proper chafing powder and ointments, you know. if you're gonna go hiking, make sure you're wearing the correct boots. Jack, was that you that had the wrong shoes on? And most of all, when you're out there with others, don't have someone come back to your camp and go, the boys are all tired and they want to come back. Will you let them come back? And as of course, you know, they were right. Is anyone hurt? Is anyone in danger? And the answer is no. And when you go on high adventure as a scout, you're on high adventure. You don't come back. You don't disrupt what's going on in camp. And, you know, you would have had 5 boys and an adult coming in, lounging around, sitting there, doing nothing except waiting for the next event, and all the other boys wondering, why can't we do that? And, you know, and believe me, it wasn't just my decision, you know. Jack's dad kind of, you know, voiced his opinion about, yeah, we don't want those boys back in camp. And we all agreed. So, in the journey that Jack has taken, Jack's met a lot of friends, he's met a lot of people. He left Troop 119, you know, under circumstances, and, you know, they all came over here to 193, and by what I've heard and what I've seen, he's been well accepted, and you have, you know, trained him well and helped him grow, and that's good to see. Because scouting is a family, and in any family, when you go to visit somewhere or you go to live somewhere else, you take them in and you treat them like your own. Jack, congratulations.
On the Pathway to Eagle, a Life Scout will encounter many mentors and Scout representatives who have a vested interest in their success. The Eagle Scout Project is a critical part of the Eagle Scout process, and we are pleased to have Ms. Stephanie Gray, Panther District Eagle Board Chair with us today to close this celebration with a few words about the importance of the Eagle Scout incident.
Usually when I come to these, they have like a piece of paper with stuff written on it for me to read. And you've been giving me like, okay, talk about this. It's a privilege to serve our district as the Eagle Board Chair. I didn't really realize the importance of it until you think about it, and it's my responsibility to preserve the integrity of the Eagle Scout rank. If someone comes to me with a project I don't think is good enough, I say no, and I give them suggestions on what they can do to make it better. Young men sitting out there, don't ever bring a bench to me, it won't be approved, because just we won't allow that. We won't allow that, because it reflects on everyone that is already an Eagle Scout. Jack, in your letter you wrote about setting goals. You had construction setbacks. Those are part of life. When you do an Eagle project, it's not, yes, part of it is about the project, but it's about the ups and downs, the things that happen, the setbacks you have. When you're in a Boy Scout troop, sometimes you fail. It's a safe place to fail. And through those experiences, the failures, that aren't really failures because you probably learn more through the failures than you do from your successes. You've learned everything you need to learn in life through your scouting career, as all young men will. I had an experience a few years ago. I walked into a conference room in Atlanta. I was the green expert telling these construction guys what they had to do to earn their certification. And they're looking at me as this woman who's a tree hugger. And they don't like tree huggers because I'm going to make them spend money to get their certification. And I always introduced myself, told them I come from a construction background. I have a general contractor's license. I've been in the industry 25 years. And the tree is when I'm facilitating the Cope course at our Boy Scout camp. As soon as I mention Boy Scouts, I'm accepted. They know my morals, they know my values, they know where I come from. In our future, anyone that says, I'm an Eagle Scout, they know what your morals are, they know what your values are. Because by the time you become an Eagle Scout, it's not something you do, it's part of who you are. And you will be accepted in this world by everyone you come across. After those meetings would get over, I'd have guys come up to me. If they were an Eagle Scout, they'd introduce themselves as an Eagle Scout, and yes, they would put their left hand out to shake mine, because that's the Scout handshake. They would come up and tell me what rank they earned when they quit, or what they were missing as a Life Scout when they didn't earn their Eagle. So do yourself a favor, earn that rank, because I don't care how old you are, if you're 40, 50, 60 years old, you will always regret not completing it. And they wanted me to talk about the effect that Eagle Scouts have in our world and in our future. For instance, Rex Tillerson is an Eagle Scout, and he is the U.S. Secretary of State. He quoted, "The values he learned in scouting are what he stands on. As long as I don't lose sight of those, I don't have any problems." Another Eagle Scout, Stephen D. Bechtel Jr., he's the namesake of the Summit Bechtel Reserve in West Virginia, where currently there are 45,000 scouts from around the world together at the World Jamboree. He has an effect on everyone and anyone that goes to Summit Bechtel. The young men that earn their Eagle rank now, today, in 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, you're going to be the Stephen Bechtels and the Rex Tillersons of our world. Of that, I have no doubt. Because Eagle Scouts, and those that don't even earn their Eagle rank, if you're a Life Scout, a Star Scout, or even a First Class Scout, you have learned everything you need to be successful in life. Just remember, go back to the Scout oath and law, and they will always guide you in the right direction. In closing, I'm not using all 5 minutes because I don't talk for that long. She said keep it short. Baylor University did a study. It's entitled Merit Beyond the Badge. And the research validates for the world something we've known about Eagle Scouts for years. They lead, they vote, they donate, they volunteer, they work hard and achieve their goals. In short, Eagle Scouts are exceptional men. Welcome to the world as an exceptional man. I can't wait to see what you do with your future.
Thank you, Ms. Gray. We end as we began with a prayer. We invite Mr. Jason Scoggins from Next Level Church to close this court of honor.
How good is that?
As he said, my name is Jason Scoggins. I'm with Next Level Church. I come to know Jack through our friend John and I. And had just recently gotten to know Jack. We got to know each other over the last couple of months, basically through a conference where about 300 youth attended from a couple different churches. And during that time, I was filling in for John, and we had some great intentional conversations. We talked about life, the future, school, his Eagle process that's going on, and it just really clicked and really felt a connection there. And when Jack asked me to deliver the benediction at the end, I got to be honest with you, I struggled with it. I didn't really think that we knew each other well enough for me to take that honor or privilege away from somebody, maybe one of you that has spent so many years investing in his future. But as I'm sitting there listening to all of this incredible things today. God just kind of nudged me and said, hey, you know why you get to do this? I have an objective point of view. All of you have grown up with him, watched him, developed with him, and invested in his lives. And Dennis and Tina, you guys, oh my gosh, you've done an incredible job. That young man right there is ready for the next stage. He really is ready for the next step. But I come in with an objective point of view. I didn't get to see all of the things that went into making Jack who he is. What I see is the finished product. I see the man he is right now. I see the fruits of all the labors of all of you and the time that you put into his life. And I got to tell you, well done. It's an amazing, amazing young man. So thank you for letting me be here today. I just want to share a couple of quick things about Jack, and then I'm going to bless the service, and we'll move on to the next thing. During the short time I've gotten to know Jack, I've observed one thing. He is a chief among equals. When I watch him with his friends, and when I watch him with his peers, he stands above, alongside, but above. There's a character and an integrity deep inside this young man that's going to take him far in life, and I'm very proud of that. You know, a lot of people have gone on this path to try to pursue their Eagle badge, and not many have made it. I managed to go to my Wolf badge in Cub Scouts before the lack of discipline kicked me to the curb. So I know the struggles, man. I just couldn't tie the knots, so I had to go. But it's also not lost on me that, 50 years ago last week, another Eagle Scout was the first man to step foot on the moon. You are joining an elite fraternity. I mean, these are men that are, as Miss Shelley said, they are respected around the world. There's doors that are going to open because of that. So you're getting into deep waters, and every single one of you are world changers. So just hang on to that. You're a world changer, okay? Greatness does await you. Question for all of you out there. How many of you trust and believe in Jack Shelley? Raise your hand and leave it up. Jack, stand up and turn around. Look at that. If you've ever doubted or wondered if you are trusted and believed in, that doubt is gone as of today. And this is just a small representation of the lives of the people that you've touched. So you are trusted and believed in, man. We are proud of you. My prayer for you today is that you keep charging ahead, daily striving to be worthy of that title, trusted and believed in. That's your new label. You are trusted and believed in. The badge, the Eagle badge, it's amazing. It's a high honor, but it is merely an outward representation of that inner character and that inner person that you are. Those rules, forgive me if I get the terminology wrong, rules where they were lighting up the candles, you embody those things. That Eagle badge is merely an outward representation of who you are on the inside. Hang cling to that. The real reward for all of your hard work is going to be the influence you have in other people's lives in the future. So it's go time, all right? If you would just bow your heads with me, and let's pray. Father, we thank you so much for Jack. We thank you for today and this exciting occasion where Jack can be honored for this incredible feat in the midst of friends and family and in front of you. Because without the gifts you've given Jack, none of this would be possible. Thank you for being our Father and loving us. Thank you for your grace and mercy when we fail. Most of all, we thank you for your Son's sacrifice that allows us to even be here and come before you. So today, we lift up Jack to you. We celebrate his accomplishments, and we ask that you refine his strengths and use them for your glory. Make him into the man that you have created him to be. We thank you so much for leaders like Jack. In your word, there are countless examples of tasks that seem too big for any one man to accomplish, yet you always raised up a leader like Joshua or Gideon, and you gave him the courage and the wisdom to conquer and accomplish the task at hand. We pray that Jack is also going to be used like one of those mighty men of old. We pray that Jack keeps his eyes ahead on you and your plans, but also, as the Eagle obligation calls for, that he is looking behind to help lead those that are not as far along in the path as he is. Whether that be in scouting or whether it's in other areas of life where he can use his leadership and influence to help others. We thank you that he is trusted and believed in, and that he will be worthy of that reputation. Give him the courage to live a life that is pleasing to you and a blessing to others. We pray for the family and friends here today that make up his support system, that the relationships be strong and healthy, root them in you, and grow them for your glory. Father, seal the work done here today. We ask all of this in your precious name. Amen. Congratulations, buddy.
this celebration at our home for an open house at 7811 Twin Eagle Loop to immediately follow. Color guard, please retire to color.
Color guard attention. Please rise and take off the microphone. Troop attention. Color guard forward march. Color guard halt. Color guard, please retire the colors. Please retrieve the colors. Step salute. Color guard uniform. Forward march. Color guard dismissed. Two.
Thank you, everyone. John, I think we have to make it
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Jason, get on
Sensei.
I'm gonna go play.
I gave it to Owen to open up the,